Dear students, now let us continue with the third lesson, living things. So, in this lesson, yesterday we were discussing about animals, as well that animals and plants depends on each other. Plants and animals depend on each other. How plants and animals depend on each other? As I explained you on the listen here. Your plants depend on animals for nutrients. Plants they depend on animals for nutrients. Nutrients, pollination and seed dispersal. So how the plants depend on animals means your plants depend on animals for nutrition, not only for nutrition, even for pollination and seed dispersal. And as the animal consume plants, they regulate the numbers of different species of plants. While plants provide oxygen for the animals as they photosynthesize, and animals respire and give out carbon dioxide for plants to make food with. So it is an interdependent relationship here. It is an interdependent relationship means what they are saying here means here plants what they do, plants they provide what you call, they take in the carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen which is useful for the animals. Yes or no? In the same way, the animals what they do, animals including human beings, what we do, we take in oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is useful for the plants to prepare their food with the help of process of photosynthesis. Yes or no? So like this here plants and animals they both interdepend on each other. We both interdepend on each other. So this is not to say that plants do not respire themselves. They do it. It is just that the amount of carbon dioxide they give out is not enough for the plants to make enough food with. As such, plants need animals. Means what they are saying here, the carbon dioxide which is present in there, it is not sufficient for the plants to breathe, but even animals also needed for that. Animals means how the animals are needed means as we all know that animals they take in oxygen and they give out carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is useful for the plants to breathe. So in this way animals are needed for the plants. Like this we can say that plants and animals interdepend on each other. They are interdependent on each other. So here completes the third lesson, living things. Okay, now let us recall about this lesson, living things. So in this lesson what we learned in this lesson, third lesson, living things, we learned about the characteristics of living things. Yes, so now what are the characteristics of living things? What we learned so far is life, living things require food, living things exhibit growth, and living things perform respiration, living things excrete, living things they move from one place to another place, and living things respond to stimuli, living things reproduce. Reproduce means giving birth to young ones are called as a reproduction. By giving birth to young ones there may be several ways. Like some animals they directly give birth to young ones, but some animals they lay the eggs like this. That is called as a reproduce. And at last living things die. So when all the living beings, whatever it is, whether plants, animals, human beings, whatever it is, all the animals when they are born means they must die at certain after some time, after some days. Yes or no? Till born to death. When they are born means అంటే పుట్టిన తర్వాత కొన్ని సంవత్సరాలు ఆఫ్టర్ మెనీ ఇయర్స్ దే మే డై, దే విల్ డై. సో హియర్ ఆల్ లివింగ్ థింగ్స్ దే విల్ డై. హియర్ నో లివింగ్ బీయింగ్ ఇస్ దేర్, దే ఆర్ లివింగ్ ఫర్ ఎవర్. అన్ని లివింగ్ బీయింగ్స్ అంటే ఒక రోజు కాక ఇంకొక రోజు చనిపోవాలన్నమాట. ఆల్ లివింగ్ బీయింగ్స్ దే మస్ట్ డై. సో హియర్ ద లాస్ట్ క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ ఆఫ్ ద లివింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఈస్ living things die. So these are the characteristics of living things. After that we discussed about some of the classification of living things. Then tarvata manam konni classification gurinchi discuss chesamu. What we discussed about the characteristics of living things there? Here living things are classified according to their what you call, they are classified according to like a kingdom, class, order, genus, species. Like this they are classified. Yes or no? Like this there are total 6 kingdoms are there. 6 kingdom, phylum, class, order, genus and species. Here kingdom, phylum, class, order, genus and species. Yes, family. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Like this, it is classified based on this. But about this more information you are going to learn in the higher section, higher classes. అంటే దీని గురించి మీరు ఎక్కువ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కావాలంటే మీరు హైయర్ క్లాసెస్లో చదువుకుంటారు. బట్ ఇయర్ వాట్ యూ షుడ్ నో ఇస్, ఇక్కడ మీరు ఏం ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తెలుసుకోవాలంటే యూ షుడ్ నో దట్ లివింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ క్లాసిఫైడ్ ఇంటూ further classification, that is kingdom, phylum, order, class, family, genus, species. So this much you have to remember it. So like this you learned about some of the organisms and how they grow and where they live and which organisms are called as single celled organisms and some are called as multicellular organisms. Single celled organisms means the organisms which are made up of only single cell, ఒకటే సెల్తో తయారైంటవి అవి, అందుకే దాన్ని సింగిల్ సెల్డ్ ఆర్గానిజమ్స్ అంటారు. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బ్యాక్టీరియా, అమీబా are the examples for single celled organisms. Multicellular means the organisms are made up of more than one cell. More than one cell means they may be 2 cell, 3 cell or millions of cells maybe. Like human beings means we are made up of some millions of cells. Many cells are there in our body. Alage some organisms are made up of more than one cell. They are called as a multicellular organisms. What they are called? Multicellular organisms. The examples for multicellular organisms are fungi, human beings, animals, plants. Even plants are also called as a multicellular organisms. So like this we learnt about the further classification. Yes or no? Okay, here completes the third lesson, living things.